All right, it is Reaction Monday. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. It is SNL, and it is the second straight winning version of Reaction Monday, and it's the second straight win that Davis Mills has led the Texans on. It is Reaction Monday. It is presented by TDECU. Get that fresh new logo Texans debit card at tdecu.org/Texans, and you can get 15% off team gear, which you might need this Thursday because it's a Battle Red Day between the Texans and Bills. We'll get into all that. But first, let's just jump right into the game. Cody, biggest takeaways from the Texans dub yesterday in Tennessee?
I quit caring about style points with this team a long time ago. So just get through this, get past this, and get ready for Buffalo was sort of the mentality that I had. I was surprised that the offense had a goose egg in the first half. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I was. I thought they'd have a little bit more to them than they did there in the first half. And wouldn't you know it, they had that first drive. It gets down there, and it was like, okay, this is going to be a sign of things to come today. They get down in the red zone, and they just kind of throw up all over themselves. They get bailed out once, and then they can't, take advantage of getting bailed out. So that was disappointing. But they went into halftime. They adjusted what needed to get adjusted and got things going there from an offensive standpoint. Had a really disappointing finish on defense. And thankfully, Davis Mills and Nico Collins exist, and they get you in field goal range and take care of business from there. So I never felt like the Texans in this game were going to lose. Did I think there was a chance they were headed to overtime? Yeah, I thought there was a decent chance they were going to end up in overtime. But even then, I didn't feel like they were going to lose. But disappointing coming off of what you had done to have nothing in the first half on the scoreboard. But you escape Tennessee, you get out of there. And that's what happens when this is the type of game that the Texans play when they're going to win the football game.
Well, I mean, let's just mention that they had 6 points through three quarters the last time they faced the Titans. So it was, I know they had the fourth quarter explosion, but they did have 6 points through three quarters the last time they faced the Titans. So we have seen this. It's a scrappy group. It's actually a pretty decent defense that the Tennessee Titans have, especially up front. I thought it was going to be a trap. It was a little bit of a trap. It was ugly, but look, ugly is just the way that it looked. That doesn't mean that there's like some disappointment in this team finding wins. This team finding wins, just get out of Tennessee and then figure out what's going on with Buffalo. I think that's the takeaway. I thought that Davis Mills played good. I didn't think he played bad. The offense looked like the offense has for a large chunk of this season. I actually thought he was dropping some dimes yesterday too. Like we saw some of the best throws that Mills has made. But my takeaway that I think matters the most on this is, while I feel like this is a really good defense, this is also a flawed defense. And I know that's kind of nitpicking, but there just seem to be some holes on the defense that I do wonder if down the stretch, when you start facing the Buffaloes, you got Indianapolis twice, you're going to have a desperate Chiefs team. You're going to face the Chargers. You're going to face Raiders and Cardinals, which are at the bottom. But I do wonder if we kind of see this defense kind of teams finding ways to kind of take advantage of them. And I don't know if there's a blueprint to attacking this defense, but I think given the fact that this offense, the ceiling is moderate no matter who's at quarterback, it does feel like the Broncos strategy might be the right one, where you just take like 1,000 shots downfield and hope that you hit two of them. And if you hit two of them, then you're going to find yourself in the ball game, whether you're the Titans or the Broncos. Because that is the other thing. While you don't want to style point wins, this very easily could have been, if Cam Ward weren't Cam Ward, this very easily could have been a much bigger uphill battle than the Texans had, and they had quite an uphill battle. So I do wonder about this defense, if they're going to hold up to the level of which they need to down the stretch.
Yeah, the defense was super disappointing a couple of times. That initial Tennessee drive, they were pretty disappointing, and then that final Tennessee drive where, they had them dead to rights, and it should have been game over, and they allow a huge play, one of the only explosives on the day for the Titans. And it's a guy that hadn't touched the ball at all day long, and he gets behind Kamari Lassiter somehow. And then they get in the red zone, and this is one of the worst red zone defenses in football. So, of course, they give up the score, and Tennessee ties this thing up. But DeMeco Ryans preaches finish, and that defense had an opportunity to finish off the Tennessee Titans, and they did not get it done. And that's a bad job by them. And we hold them to a higher standard than we do the offense. And I thought the defense had some really leaky moments throughout the course. Now, they had a good stretch where they weren't allowing anything. Some of that was Titans aided because the Titans continued to make a bunch of mistakes. And Cam Ward, he's just spraying the ball all over the field. Like there were some plays where if there was a half decent quarterback, their guy's running free and running for a score, and Cam Ward's putting it 4 yards deep and 6 yards to the left of guys. And it's like, golly, this guy stinks. And so the defense, not their best day. I mean, statistically, you look at the box score, you'd be a box score bozo about it. You're going to be like, oh, okay. Like, sure, they had a pretty good day. But when the Texans needed to lean on this defense a couple of times, they weren't there to lean on.
Yeah, and the defense, the problems for me, and on the chat, I guess Buddy thinks that I'm being too harsh on. Let's see what he says. I guess the number one defense in the league has to pitch a shutout to not have Landry. I do wonder Locker have questions. Jesus.
Well, they pitched a shutout last time.
Well, let's just look at who they faced up to this point. The defense. You faced the Titans twice. You faced the Jags twice. You faced the backup quarterbacks for Baltimore and San Francisco. You faced the Rams, weren't able to get the stop there. They kind of took their foot off the gas, and you faced Tampa Bay, and they ended up getting the best of you. So I do think you need to kind of look at the big picture. My point is, it's not going to get easier for this defense as you go down the stretch, starting in 3 days. So that's the thing that I'm worried about with the defense. That's what I'm worried about with the defense.
If the Tennessee Titans can find Miles Bryant, the good teams can find Miles Bryant and go after him. And again, they're going to have to lean on this defense. The offense is never getting fixed in 2025. Like they're not rolling into a game where we feel great about this offense and they can lean on the offense. So the defense, yes, most weeks when they're going to win football games, they do need to be damn near perfect. And when they're not, the other team's going to be in the game and the Texans are going to have a tough time winning it.
Yeah, it's reality on what the defense is. Like they're not the weakness of the team, but can they continue? They're probably going to have to continue playing at this level for them to continue winning games. I mean, there's a reason that they haven't really beat a good team, unless you want to consider Jacksonville a good team. And as they move forward, they're going to have to figure it out. But they figured it out yesterday. Let's go on the chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
SSG says tickets are $300 to $400. Are we winning? Yes or no? They open as a 3.5-point dog. So it's not like Vegas is looking at this and saying, and it's not off the board either. So it appears that even with Davis Mills, the Texans are going to be a 3.5-point dog. Now, maybe it changes a little bit if the news comes down with CJ Stroud, but Vegas has this as a 3.5-point game. Short week. Buffalo not looking awesome, although Josh Allen was an absolute freak show yesterday, especially if you played him in fantasy. Sorry to you and me.
Yeah, this is not a great matchup right now for the Texans, but people will look to last year's game where they had success. I don't think you're going to do that to Josh Allen again. And you would look at some of the hiccups that Buffalo has had defensively. The Texans didn't run the ball well yesterday, and they're going to have to run the football much better against the Bills. I'm not picking them to beat the Bills right now, but we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, I think you'll get there. And I know how you roll. You'll probably pick them. Let's be real. Maine 9-4 says kind of shallow win, but doesn't matter. Brian 5-5. No, it doesn't matter. 5-5 is 5-5. This is where they needed to get. Where we said after the 3-3 start, this is where they're going to have to get. And look, this is the perfect time to face the Bills. It's the perfect time to face the Bills. It's a short week. It's at your place. They're not playing great. They're desperate. They got receivers not even showing up for meetings and being healthy scratches. They're offering high equity trades with teams in the division. They're getting their ass whooped by Miami. Knowing that you have to play the Buffalo Bills this season, I think it's lined up about as perfect as it possibly could be as to when you're facing the Buffalo Bills. The short week sucks, but they got the same short week and they have to get on a plane and go to Houston. So it's a pretty big advantage that the Texans possess over the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, look, you were always going to have a slight advantage with it being at home on Thursday Night Football, and then coming off of one of those like roller coaster games, can the Bills kind of calm down, settle down, and be ready for you on their schedule? And there's no look ahead for them or anything like that. Both teams are going to be dialed in for a Thursday nighter. You have that mini bye, so to speak. So it's not like it's like, oh man, got to go on the road, got to take care of the next opponent. Houston, oh, they're not very good. Like, they'll be ready for you. Let's see what they've got. I mean, they looked bad for a good portion of yesterday, and then they just got going on offense.
Yeah, they got it. They got rolling. They were losing to Tampa Bay, and then they just I just don't know. I don't know if that maybe D'Amico has Josh Allen's number. I mean, that is something to keep an eye on, and you do still have elite corners and elite edge duo, regardless of what anyone may or may not think. It's just the middle of that defense is where I think teams could take advantage. I just don't know if the Bills are one of those teams.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Oh, wait, they've stopped using James Cook as a receiver too, which is really weird. Like, it's really weird.
I mean, OCs overthink it all the time, even the smart ones, and especially the dumb ones.
Sean James says, biggest takeaway, Amy Adams Stank has the thinnest skin of any owner, not allowing signs from fans of the team showing them in a bad light is petty. What'd she do? I didn't see this.
Oh, is she taking signs away from Titans fans, calling her out?
I don't know. I don't know what Amy Adams Stank is doing, except stanking. That's all I know. It is Reaction Monday presented by the greatness that is TDECU. Appreciate everyone for coming through, enjoying it. Special time. They had practice today. We'll give you the latest on everything going on with the Texans on this short week. We got a few clues, a little bit. Let's get to the big moments of the game. But first, let's hear D'Amico from today talking about the latest on CJ Stroud and Jalen Petrie and what their statuses are.
Yeah, with the short week, just the update as of right now, CJ and Jalen are still in the concussion protocol. I think it's looking good to have Kaimi back this week, so we'll see how that goes. And with CJ and Jalen, we'll we got to see how the week goes. When they're in their concussion protocol, there are steps they have to pass to be available. So we'll see how it goes for them this week.
All right, so let me lay it out for everybody just so everybody understands this.
Okay.
The team's going to have a walkthrough this afternoon. Okay? That does not count as a practice. Concussed players in the protocol can have their own separate workout
about practice
that takes place of practice. Okay? Then the Texans will have a full regular practice tomorrow and then nothing on Wednesday. If one of the concussed players or both the concussed players doesn't practice with their special practice today, they could still do it on Wednesday before the Thursday game. But that is highly unlikely, and most teams don't go to that because most of the time, if the person can't start the week, they don't just miraculously get better and pop in the middle of the week. So you'll be looking for something like limited or full from the estimated practice today from Stroud or Petrie if you're hoping to see him Thursday.
So basically you're saying Davis Mills is starting Thursday.
That's not what I said. But if CJ Stroud doesn't practice today, the likelihood that Davis Mills is starting Thursday is near 100%.
Okay. There you go. Let's go through the key moments of the game. We also got the Kings of the Turf presented by Texans Turf and the TDECU where credit is due here on Reaction Monday. Be sure to tune into the Texans Collective tonight at 6. Myself, Cody Stoots, Sean Pendergast, Reginald Atatula. We will be live at 6. Be sure to subscribe to that. Different POV different vibe. So right off the top in this game, Cody, we the offensive line that we suspected we would see, we saw. Titus Howard at guard, Trent Brown at right tackle, Patterson at left guard, and then Ursary at left tackle and Andrews at center. I will say this. I know that they didn't run the ball well. I didn't expect them to run the ball well. And I don't think this is like a run blocking type of offensive line. But I did think there were some moments where Woody Marks ran hard and maximized the opportunities that he was given. I did not expect this to be like a big running game. But I did think that Woody Marks, there were times where he ran the ball very effectively up the middle. And then there were other times where it was just, you had no chance in hell. But I thought for what they asked him to do, I thought he did okay. Now, maybe it wasn't the right things to ask, though.
I think there were a couple of nice runs, and then outside of that, it was really tough sledding. And it's going to be tough sledding when it's Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. And they clearly wanted to make this thing, okay, if Davis Mills is going to beat us, Davis Mills is going to beat us. Then he did. But they were not going to let Woody Marks get loose and get after them. And Marks had a carry for 12 yards. He had a carry for, I think, 9 yards at one point. And then he averaged about 1 yard a carry on the rest of his carries in the game.
They did have the one to set up the closer field goal.
Sure. That was the 9 yarder late in the game.
That was like the 2023 Noah Brown Bengals, where he got closer for Matt Amendola when he like got an extra like 10 yards after the catch. And it was like, okay, well, it's not going to be 50 plus. And then Amendola kicked it. That was kind of like the same vibe for Woody Marks, the 2023 Noah Brown.
Yeah.
When he went and beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So right off the top, I thought the interesting moment was they decided to receive. So they won the toss and they elected to receive, which I think kind of showed some confidence in the offense. And early on, it looked like that confidence was going to pay off. You had the 3rd and 9 dime from Davis Mills to Higgins. Then you had a play where Davis, I thought, did a good job throwing it away and avoiding a hit. And then on 3rd and 6, the back shoulder with Nico Collins and Davis Mills, it's alive and well. You had that throw. And then Hutchinson, perfect off the run, the touch from Davis Mills. And then the Texans look like they're going to settle for a field goal. They get a very suspect call on Jeffrey Simmons, who that's a terrible call no matter how you slice it. Missed field goal off the post. Texans get another opportunity. And then maybe one of Davis Mills' better throws of the day ends up hitting the ground because Captain Kirk, believe it or not, he has not arrived. Christian Kirk drops what could have been a touchdown.
Captain Kirk has arrived.
No, he has not.
I repeat, Captain Kirk has arrived.
And then for some reason, D'Amico Ryans challenges it. Now, he did say that the people upstairs told him to. There's a process that goes through. I do think they should probably evaluate the process and whoever's telling D'Amico to challenge. Would you say he was 2-7?
He's 2-7. He hasn't won a challenge since 2023.
Yeah. So maybe like whatever the process is, they should reevaluate that situation. And then they decided to go for it on 4th and 2, which I thought was a mistake. I would have taken the points. You know how I am. I'm very conservative with this offense, but they don't. And Davis Mills gets sacked and the Titans get a hold right off the top.
Woody Marks has got to make that block. Like, it's just if they're going to trust you, they're going to put you in there for that much. You got to be ready for that moment. And I don't know if they score if he makes that block, but they don't. They don't have any chance to score if he misses, and he missed that block.
Yeah, he missed it big time. Then the Titans, one of the biggest moments of the game, Calvin Ridley right off the top, 13-yard catch in his return, but his season ends with an injury. And then the Titans, they end up stealing 3 points on a 56-yard field goal in which I thought Miles Bryant had a really rough start at safety. That would be my big moment here. He had a missed tackle on 3rd and 13. Then he had a pass caught right in front of him. And I thought that was the big key there was that Miles Bryant early on, you're sitting there saying, oh crap. The backup safety is in and he looks like a backup safety.
It's like the new kid at school getting picked on. I mean, they had 2 false starts back to back, by the way, at one point the Titans did. to set up that 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 13, excuse me. They converted the 3rd and 16 later in the game, the 3rd and 13. And to get thrown out there basically on an island, you got to make the play, Miles Bryant, and he doesn't make the play. And it's like, oh, geez, here we go.
Now, he did slow down a little bit. Then we go through just a cluster of absolute slop up to the second quarter. Now, in the second quarter, the Texans, they got some strong running from Woody Marks. So you had a strong run to move the chains. Then you had a Nico Collins catch on the sidelines, another one. Then Marks with elite footwork for 7. Then a strong 12. So 20 plus yards on this series. Then you throw an incomplete to Chubb, and then a Marks run on 3rd and 2. And then on 3rd and 5, this is the second time that the Tennessee defense has been kind of opportunistic. They sacked you to prevent you from being able to score, and then they sack you out of field goal range. So the big plays being made in the trenches early on were the Titans, and they were able to maintain their 3-0 lead as a result of it.
Yeah, that was huge for Tennessee because the Texans with Kaimi, they probably still think about kicking, but definitely with the backup, or excuse me, about punt. They probably still think about punting, but definitely with the backup, they're going to punt. And then good job by the Titans to not give the Texans those 5 yards of work for Tommy Townsend. And then, of course, he boots it out of the end zone.
Then you had a nice PBU by Kamari Lassiter. He's continues to play good. And then I don't know what to make of this. This one kind of pissed me off. And this was kind of the the WTF Nick moment, if you will. And I've said this the last 3 weeks, I think going back to San Francisco, when they fucking decide that they're going to be urgent at the end of the first half and when they decide they aren't, it's just kind of mind-boggling to me at times. You're down 3 to the Tennessee Titans. They got the ball, and the Texans decide to run the ball and then let 36 seconds go off the clock between plays, and they punt. Now, there was a muff punt, too, where if the Texans fall on that, then things completely change. But then the Titans give you a break to where if you would have had more time, then maybe you would have been able to do a little bit more, because the Titans, for whatever reason, look like they're going to go to the house, and then all of a sudden they run to the line of scrimmage and decide to throw the ball, throw an incompletion on 2nd down, and you're like, what is going on with the Tennessee Titans?
But both these teams were a disaster at the end of the first half. The Texans with a just kind of a give-up run, and then they just kind of, okay, well, we didn't get any yards, so. But then Mills throws it. And it's like, I thought you were going to – I thought Tennessee should have been taking timeouts. I thought the Texans should have taken a timeout. Mills throws it, and then I'm like, well, definitely Tennessee's going to get the rock back here. And then Mills runs out of bounds. Like, what? Like, there was just so much wrong with that whole thing from the Texans.
In his defense, he was trying to get the first down. It's not like he dove. He just stepped out. Like, it wasn't like he ran out of bounds without trying to make an effort. He's just not as athletic as – he would have liked to have been there.
Yeah, he's a good 10 feet away from the first down, though.
But do you not feel like their end of the halves is just weird with
it's
the way
awful.
they decide and when they decide not to? Like against San Francisco, they throw an interception, damn near give San Francisco 3 free points in a 1-possession game. And then there's been other examples where it's like, what are they doing? And then in this one, they just decide we're going to take it to the crib against one of the worst teams in the league. I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah, and then the Titans were bad, and then the Texans, they throw a deep pass, it's incomplete, and then they want to just take it to halftime. So they run a play. Like, why wouldn't you just kneel it if you're going to take it to halftime?
And not only do they run a play, they run Woody Marks right at Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons full freaking speed. Like, if you're going to take it to the half, just take a knee and don't make the guy who's been banged up all this time have to run right into 2 of the biggest son bitches in the middle of a D line. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I didn't understand that. So they go to the half. Last time these teams played, it was 6-0 Texans. This time it was 3-0 at halftime. But the Titans add 3 points right off the top. And quite frankly, it should have been 10-0. Because Cam Ward, and this might be the moment of the game. Kinsey is wide ass open, and all Cam Ward had to do was put a little air on it, but instead he tries to aim the throw, and this was a busted coverage like a mofo of the Texans, but Cam Ward just completely missed a touchdown. Unfortunately for the Texans, they were able to hold him to 3, but we should have been talking about a 10-0 game at that point.
Yeah, Cam Ward had just some absolute help the defense out moments in this one, and that was amongst the biggest ones. Just a throw that most guys in the league make, and he didn't make in that moment, and it was awful.
Yeah, because it's not like it was like a last-second thing like that. He was streaking wide open for a while. Now, the Texans did respond when they needed to, and this was just the feed the beast, feed the pups, feed the dogs.
I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog.
Nico Collins, 35 yards and a touchdown on 3 catches, and the Texans take a 7-6 lead. In between that, there was an absolute dime to Jaden Higgins where he reached for the end zone, was very, very close, but the Texans score inside the 5-yard line. Davis Mills, as he has the last 2 weeks, he feeds the beast. Nico Collins, 15 targets last week, I think 10 yesterday, and when you need a play, you go to Nico, and that theme ain't dying before we get through going through the moments of this game, I can assure you.
Yeah, that was a nice adjustment by Nick Caley that, hey, we haven't got Nico the ball enough. Get Nico the ball a little bit more, Davis. Let's go. And Caley or Davis or whoever, or Nico, you got to give them all credit because they finally got Nico Collins going. I feel like if they hadn't lost the challenge or hadn't even attempted the challenge in the first drive of the game, first offensive drive for them of the game, they might have challenged the Jaden Higgins. I believe that was a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this team at the 1-yard line. I mean, some would say, well, you're only 1 yard away, it's not worth it. Well, this team at the 1-yard line, yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the worst offenses in football from the 1-yard line. So, and I'm sure that losing one in the first half had something to do with it. It's early in the third quarter. So I understand a little bit not going for it. And then their mentality is that they can make it happen from the 1-yard line. Hell, we got 4 chances. Like, I'm sure that was their thought process. So they didn't challenge it, but I felt strongly that was a touchdown that the referees, boneheaded dumbasses, robbed Jaden Higgins.
So then the Texans, they forced the Titans to punt. Then we get another nice display by Nico and Hutchinson, 14-yard catches apiece, one each. And then on 3rd and 5, near catch by Xavier Hutchinson. He doesn't get it. So the Texans have to settle for a field goal. And I'll be honest with you, I know the missed field goal didn't count that our guy missed, Matthew Wright, but I'm sitting there thinking that this guy sucks from 41, and I'm like, oh Lord, and he made it. So they go up 10
right down the middle, no questions asked.
Yeah, so they go up 10-6 there, and you're still kind of flirting with disaster with the Titans. Then Will Anderson, we've seen Will Anderson do this, a strip sack, and I thought this was a nice dial-up by, I guess, D'Amico Ryans. Maybe you can say Matt Burke, but it was a corner blitz with Lassiter in the inside, and Lassiter actually got home too. Will just beat him there, and they ended up forcing the fumble. Will Anderson with the strip forced fumble. He and Daniil Hunter, by the way, they both get a sack. So the Texans improved to 7-2, spoiler alert, when they both get a sack. But I thought this was very well dialed up. Even if Will didn't get there, it looked like Kamari was going to.
I mean, forces the fumble, gets up, recovers the fumble, and gets moving with it. I mean, really good job by Will Anderson. It's one of those special moments from a special player.
Okay, Chris Myers.
Is that not a special? How many guys force the fumble, pick it up on the ground, and then get up and run with it? How many times do you see that in the? I'm sorry that wasn't impressive to you. I guess he needed to get up and do a backflip with it in his hands to impress the almighty Landry Locker.
I just didn't know you were going Jim Nance. Special moment for a special player.
I didn't really put any oomph in it. I just said special moment, special player. What else is there to say?
All right, so then the Texans set up a 4th and 1. They elect to kick the field goal. I said it before, I support this decision.
Mm-hmm.
I supported this decision on 4th and 1 to kick the field goal. They kicked the field goal, and there you go. I was fine with it. 13-6. Good. You're good with that?
I supported that. And at that point, the Titans are going to have to put together a touchdown drive, which they had not shown the ability to that point that looked like they were going to do that, or they'd have to put together multiple kicking drives, and they were not going to be able to do that with the clock and some of the defensive prowess that you do have. So I supported that, add to the lead.
Then we get Daniil Hunter doing his thing. He gets a sack on 3rd and 5. Then the Texans unable to move the chains. Dalton Schultz goes down with the shoulder. I wonder how he's feeling on the short week. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Then it was a scary moment, but luckily Tajay Spears slipped. I don't know if Miles Bryant makes the tackle, but I'm glad we didn't have to figure it out because he falls in the open field and the Texans hold the Titans and they force the punt.
The Titans, I understand it because we all watched it. Cam Ward has some get it down the field issues and some accuracy stuff that he's working through, but man, they went sideways a whole lot more than I would have against the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that when that's where the strength is. Like up the middle feels like the place to go, but it doesn't feel like too many teams do it. Then Jalen Knoll with a punt return to the 45. At this point, you're sitting there thinking, okay, a field goal ends this game. Like literally a 2-possession game, a field goal ends it, but they stall Jeffrey Simmons, who I don't know what's going on with him, if he needs a Snickers or something like that. He's just screaming and yelling the whole game. And he ends up getting the sack of Davis Mills, and then he's yelling at the offense. But then the Texans, this was the oh damn moment for the defense. So Tommy Townsend with one of his better punts of the season, he absolutely booms it. 3rd and 4, Gunnar Helm moves the chains. 3rd and 10, a pass interference on Stingley, I guess, like he grabbed his hand, so whatever. But that just it didn't feel like too crazy.
Watching it live, I was like, that's pass interference. That's terrible. And then they show you like the slow motion and you see Stingley's hand like make it around the guy's wrist. And I'm like, well, okay. Like, I guess if he did that, that's pass interference. And then I got to thinking, that official didn't see that live. He just threw the flag to throw the flag. Like, he didn't see Stingley's hand around the guy's wrist. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and the guy wasn't even arguing. Then you have they finally called it on Danico Autry. I mean, he was basically putting the guy in the choke slam the whole game, if we're being completely honest. Every time he rushes, he's basically just putting hand to neck. So they finally called that. Then you have a false start going into – go ahead.
Well, that 20-yard scramble by Cam Ward, I mean, how many times are we going to see a quarterback just take off on this defense?
Yeah, that's what I worry about with Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, Mahomes. Like the quarterbacks that they're going to face for the remainder of this season have become really good at recognizing when they can. Mahomes has gotten really good at it. And we even saw in the Jacksonville game, they called the penalty, but Trevor Lawrence in situational time, we saw Baker Mayfield do it. Like, say what you want about Daniel Jones. He's good at that. So that's two of your final 6. Josh Allen's as good as it possibly you could possibly be. And then you have Mahomes. Herbert, assuming that he's good to go, he's pretty good at taking off when he needs to as well. That's 5. And then Jacoby Brissett will do it too. By the way, record-holding quarterback for completions in a game, Jacoby Brissett with 47 yesterday. What is that?
My hunch is they'll be playing Kyler by then.
Yeah, I would hope so. But yeah, so then
and then just Cam Ward takes off, and then Chris Myers, he finally took off. Huh? He finally got to run it. It's like, dude.
Race car!
Him and Schlereth all day long. When's he going to take off? When's he going to take off? Cam Ward had 46 rushing yards coming into this game. He's not a running quarterback. But I guess because Mark Schlereth and Chris Myers looked at him and noticed that he looked like some other famous running quarterbacks, they thought he was going to be a running quarterback. And then he called him Cam Newton about 10 times.
Yeah, he's not even New England Patriot Cam Newton. Yeah, that was wild, but he did run. And then after a Tommy Togiai sack, 3rd and 16, It looked a lot like the 49ers play where Jennings goes up on 3rd and long and he jumps over MJ Stewart to make it an interesting-ish game. Kamari Lassiter just gets behind him and the Titans end up tying the game up.
Yeah, I mean, they should have been able to take them down at 3rd and 16. It's a bad job by them and bad job by the defense to let a guy who's had, I think at that point, 1 catch. I mean, the Titans were on pace to have less than 200 yards of offense for the day, and they get that big play, gives them juice, and then one of the worst red zone defenses in football strikes again.
Yep, and then we get to 3rd and 16. Say it, Cody. 3rd and 16 for Davis Mills.
On the ensuing Texans offensive drive?
Yeah, on the ensuing Texans offensive drive. Go ahead and say it.
Special players make special plays.
Special player making special plays. Nico Collins with the catch. Dalton Schultz for 7. Woody Marks with the run. And then that's a wrap. Texans win the game. Those are the landlock key moments consisting of special players making special plays.
That's what happens. What a freaking throw too, because they had the defense. They had the defense called for Nico Collins, like for that situation, and he runs the perfect amount of space, like perfect amount down the field, gets in that area. Mills gets it over the first defender in front of the second defender. Nico makes a toe tapper. I mean, one of the plays of the year for this team.
Davis was dropping some dimes yesterday.
I mean, we talked about this. There were going to be things that looked a little bit better from the first week starting to the second week starting. And I felt like his accuracy was certainly a little bit better.
Yeah, he did his thing, like no run game. The defense put him in a situation where he had to figure it out, and he did his thing. Let's go back to the chat here on Reaction Monday, presented by the greatness of TDECU. Get that fresh new Texans debit card at tdecu.org/Texans. 15% off all Texans team gear. Membership required, insured by NCUA. By the way, this Friday, we're going to be at Spanky's. This is a special one. If you haven't been to one, this is the one to go to because it's going to be the day after a game. This is basically going to be like a Reaction Monday, the day after the Bills game. Come out to Spanky's Sharpstown this Friday, 3:00. We'll be there. We will be enjoying the hell out of this week because we don't have to work this weekend.
Correct.
Yeah, we don't have to cover a game this weekend. So this is absolutely lovely. This is going to be our favorite one. We want you out there. Come out there. Enjoy happy hour with us. Enjoy the best pizza in town. Fresh dough, fresh sauce made from scratch every morning, and some amazing food as well. So meet us out there at Spanky's Sharpstown this Friday for a special edition of Football Friday.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this one. We're going to have a blast, and it's going to be a really fun one. And, hopefully we're talking about a win, but we'll see.
You never know.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Shifty Mike says, I think we're way too hard on the defense. Offense been bad all season. Defense saved us grace. Admittedly so. I say that. I mean, it's like grounding your honor student for getting a B+. Like, yes, I agree with you. It's just I'm trying to look at this and saying, is this sustainable? Are they going to be able to play this way? You look at the matchups, it's going to be tougher. And look, 3rd and 16 should not happen. Third and 16 should not happen against this Titans team. So, yes, admittedly so. And we always preface our criticism of the defense saying we're happy if the offense just passes the class, but the defense, we need all A's. So, yes, we 100% agree with you, Shifty.
Yeah.
It's a good observation by you, but it's very accurate too. Kiki Hogan, this is a good question. Speaking of which, did Cody end up asking Trent Brown about his order? He said he would do it if they won. Yeah, the When I'm at Fattest challenge is tomorrow. I got my 2 Whataburger meals. Going to be ready for the stream. We're going to have a fat theme. We've got a few Texans talking about when they were at their fattest.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully Cody asks Trent Brown. He is a team player and asks him, but we'll see.
I mean, he wasn't in the locker room today, so I couldn't ask him.
What was he doing?
I mean, Dr. Landry probably thought he's getting his leg sawed off.
No, I think he's Cal Ripken now. I've gone the complete I've gone the complete other way. I want a doubleheader Thursday with Trent Brown. Wag says, afternoon, gents. Do people even get Cal Ripken references?
Austin Brinkman did when
He was the only Texan player who knew who he was. So maybe
because he's from Baltimore.
Yeah, but he didn't know his name either. Wax says, afternoon, gents. Our D showed up 25 yards from the running back. Yeah, you're not running on the Texans. That's just not really, it's not easy to do. Look at this. Look at this prediction from JC. He says, we beat the Bills. We then lose the next two and then win the rest down the stretch, go 10-7, first round exit, and it won't be enough to fire Kaylee. Well, that would be a hell of a roller coaster ride.
Damn. Okay, beat the Bills, lose the next two, win the
Bills, lose to the Colts, Chiefs, then beat the Chargers, Cardinals, Raiders, and Colts again.
But the Colts at that point might have everything wrapped up, might not be playing everybody.
Yeah, and I was actually talking about this. I think you want the Colts to beat the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, like I know like the division is a long shot. So I actually think that you want the Colts to beat the Chiefs this week and push them back a game rather than like just get rid of this division hope. And you got to get these teams like the Chiefs and Ravens, Steelers, whichever one of them, just get off your case.
Yeah, it's not like the Texans are playing at like such a high level that you're like, well, if we get the help we need, we're happy to be in the division conversation. Like that's just not where they're playing. The Colts haven't shown, the leakiness signs that, typically a division winner when they're this far, or division leader when they're this far ahead, kind of sneak back down to earth. They haven't really shown that. So I'm with you. Get as much help in the wild card area of the standings as you can from the opponents.
Fact. Rich Boy Jay says Landry always loses me with the baseball references. I know. I gotta know my audience sometimes. Dom in Jersey. Where's this gonna go? He says, you guys aren't afraid to ask tough questions. Can you ask what the obsession over Kirk is? Noel is 10 times more effective. Kirk is robbing us. All caps. He sucks. I've asked 100 times about Jalen Noel. Like, how many more times do I ask about this?
D'Amico got asked again today about Jalen Noel.
Yeah, I think Sarge asked about it. Dude, Christian Kirk dropped the touchdown. Like the whole game is different if he just get, and then he had a linebacker run stride for stride with him across the middle. He is like a combination of Amon Green and Randall Cobb. Like Amon Green, when the Texans signed him, and Randall Cobb just ran head first together and they collided and they all combined their powers. That's what Christian Kirk is.
Christian Kirk, the past two games, 2 catches, 7 yards. Or excuse me, 2 catches, 9 yards. I don't want to shorten those.
He did draw a PI though. That was huge. That was a big play.
2 catches, 9 yards, 1 PI drawn, 7 targets.
Yeah, it hasn't been great.
It's not been great. It's not like they're just like dumping a bunch of targets on Christian Kirk and they're going nowhere. Like 4 is a reasonable amount in a 41 attempt game, I suppose. But you can make a very sound argument that those 4 targets, however many routes, are all better for the offense if they're replaced by Jalen Noel.
He's a waste of time. Rodzilla 2000 says if Houston wins Thursday, SNL have to do the squabble.
Well, I don't know if anybody remembered 2 weeks ago when I opened my big fat fucking mouth and I said if they beat the Bills, I'd drink something. And here we are. We got a shaky Bills team coming to town, and I'm like, oh
what
boy,
do you drink?
I don't even remember what it was. Probably something stupid with apple cider vinegar, like what I got to drink today.
Show the people what you got to drink today. And this was a dumb bet, by the way.
I got it. It's over there in the. I'll bring it all over here because I got the chocolate milk in the fridge.
2 ounces of chocolate milk, 2 ounces of pickle juice, 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar, because you thought Nick Chubb was going to get more carries than Woody Marks.
It was a sound investment by me.
Rich Boy Jay says we want the Colts to not be playing for a bye week 18.
Colts to not be playing for. Oh, okay, I see what he's saying. You don't want them to be near that 1-2 where if they win, they're the bye, so that they actually play. He wants them to either have it locked up or be out of the bye conversation.
Usually, it's pretty clear what the situation is in that mix anyways. Like it's not. I think it'll be fine. But I get it. One time
they're currently in the third. I mean, I know they've played one less game than some of those other teams, but they're currently third in the AFC.
One time for my boy Cade playing, and Krispy Kreme is still the GOAT. Krispy Kreme is the worst donuts in the country.
I don't know, man. There's some just like generic donut places that if you just go in and get their generic glazed, it's like awful.
Yep.
Like don't get me wrong, there's some mom and pop shops that do it up big, but there's some mom and pop shops that just didn't try on the regular and put all the effort into all the other fancy stuff.
Shout out to Izzy.
Appreciate you, Izzy.
Let's get some TDECU where credit is due. And it is Reaction Monday presented by TDECU. And we always want to give credit where it's due. We know who the ballers are. We always have a good grasp, but where are we going to give credit where it is due? Courtesy of the greatness that is TDECU. Get that Texans debit card, tdecu.org/Texans. Membership required, insured by NCUA. 15% off at the team shop.
Where credit is due this week, Dalton Schultz, another really impressive performance for him as the only tight end of note. I know Cade Stover played in this one, but it definitely looked like they were easing Cade back into things with the amount of times they had him out there on the field. And Dalton, it looked like his arm was hanging out at one point. And then he's still back out there at the end, has that catch early on that in the later part of the game. So 6 for 51 for him. It's a good job playing through their injuries, and going to need to probably play through the injuries again this week on the short week. So there you go. You see on the other side there, Tommy Togiai. What's he throwing up? Throwing it up.
If y'all missed the Tommy Togiai interview, check it out in the video section here.
Yep, check it out right here on the channel. We talked to Togiai last week. Had the sack, had a pass deflection, and got a lot of praise from D'Amico Ryans today when he got asked about him. But
most consistent interior guy.
Togiai, I mean, put him on the field more. We could always use more Tommy Togiai. And then I put Cole Popovich in the where credit is due. And the reason I did this was because for once on this offensive line, they didn't overthink it. They didn't screw around with it too much. They didn't move everything around and adjust and change. They just did what most of us wanted them to do. Keep Jared Patton, keep Trent Brown at right tackle, play Titus Howard at right guard, and when you know it, they put together a pretty decent day as an offensive line. Now, they got to get some run blocking better with that crew, but they didn't overthink it. They didn't do anything crazy with the offensive line, and it worked out for them. So Cole Popovich, where credit is due to him for not changing things around and maybe learning from his City So experiment.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
HDAV Traveler Afternoon, Landry, Cody, and Friends. Victory Monday. Hopefully McLean will be at Spanky's on Friday. McLean, I don't know where. I got to check on McLean. He's not getting that Twitter account back, it doesn't look like. So I don't know if he's really in much of a mood to leave the house.
Oh, you think it's like gone, huh?
I would say that the time has kind of left him, and he did not approach it the right way.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
I tried to help, and he did not approach it the right way. He tried to act like you could get a normal attorney, probably 80-year-old attorney that could help you get your Twitter account back, and that's not how this works.
Yeah, and they deleted all his old tweets and everything. Oh, bummer. Maybe some Spanky's pizza would make him feel better.
He's depressed, dude.
Well, I get it, I guess.
Izzy asks if Mills beats the Bills, could we see a QB shuffle?
I mean, let's wait till Friday to answer that, right? If we're gonna put the if Mills beats the Bills,
but you're committing to, at the very least, that if he does, then we have to have a discussion Friday.
Correct. And where I land on the discussion Friday, regardless of the result Thursday night, is as soon as Stroud's healthy, you play him.
Okay, so that's it. Period. Point blank. I would agree.
That is where I'm going to land. And I don't give a damn if Davis Mills goes out there and throws for 400 yards.
Okay.
When Stroud's healthy, play him.
All right. Can I ask you this question? Because I thought about this question, and I think it might blow your mind.
Okay.
So I agree with you because I don't think Davis Mills is a franchise quarterback. Now, maybe it has to do with as much as what happened a couple years ago as what I'm seeing now. Because let's be honest, this was one of the worst offenses in the NFL with Stroud. Let's just be real about that. It's still not a very good one. But let me ask you this, and you're going to have to use your imagination. You're going to have to get rid of a lot of your old biases. How would you look at this if in the last 2 weeks, Graham Mertz were doing what Davis Mills was doing? And you never had any idea of what Graham Mertz was, and this was all you saw was Graham Mertz doing what Davis Mills is doing. How would you look at this any differently?
I think y'all have a hard time finding me.
But
I'm kidding. I'd be here no matter what, taking all the flack. It would be a little bit different. But I would think about it the same way that I still think about it with Davis. It's the same way I think about Daniel Jones. When are they turning back into the pumpkin? When do they turn back into the guy that and again, if it was Mertz and it was just the first 2 games he'd played, maybe it'd be a little bit different. I'd even be even more inclined to go back to Stroud at that point and just kind of chalk it up to the league doesn't know anything about him, beginner's luck type thing. But with Mills, I'm just waiting for when does he turn back into the guy that's not anywhere good enough to think about starting?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And it's because we've seen the pumpkin. It's because we've actually seen the pumpkin. But let's say Davis Mills had never played, and this were all we saw, you would look at it different. So there is a clear bias based on, and I don't think it's irrational because it was a decent sample size, but I think that there is just an automatic dismissal of what we've done. But if some rookie had come in and done this while CJ was out, and by the way, these are common opponents. You can't if you got your lawyer hat on when you're talking about CJ Stroud and you're not trying to be objective, then you can't really say, well, these are shitty teams because CJ went 1-1 against them. And they were it was 6 points through 3 quarters of that. So it's kind of the goalpost moves. But I do agree with you, but I do think seeing the pumpkin has as much to do with what we've seen, because what we've seen has been, I don't want to call it a better version of a bad offense, but some of the stuff that's going on is okay, well, it goes back to the tough discussions that we were having about CJ.
Yeah, but if you just had if you just had 2 guys at quarterback and one of the guys was Davis Mills and the other guy had been playing and then Mills did this, I think it's having Mills's previous failures is a necessary conversation because of where Stroud is in his career. This is year 3. You're supposed to see some development. You're supposed to see a bounce back from last year. You haven't seen it up to this point. You need to see it. You felt and you've always felt since he's been in the building, he gives you a better chance to win than Davis Mills. Even with Davis's 2 games, plus whatever he did in Denver, I still feel like CJ Stroud is a guy that I want to see out on the field and want to see if he can do some things. And if you had a different timeline and a different guy, then yeah, I would care less about Davis Mills' past. But where they are now, you have to care about what he did for this organization a couple years ago and what he didn't do, I guess is probably the better way to say it.
Even if, let's just say in an imaginary world, let's say Davis Mills is slightly better at running this offense than CJ Stroud right now. Let's just this is an alternate universe.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that's the case, it's still more beneficial, even if you're going to win less games, to see what CJ can do for the remainder of the season than to see Davis Mills maybe sneak you into the playoffs and have an early exit. It's still more valuable to see what CJ can do.
To me, what this allows you to do if Mills has some success on Thursday and you have this 3-game starting sample size from Davis Mills, it allows you to apply more to whatever game CJ ends up playing. It allows you to apply more of a microscope, get deeper, and then I don't believe this organization is going to sit there. Let's call it 3-4 weeks from now, and they're playing the Raiders and they're losing at halftime, and CJ started the game. Like, they're not running Davis Mills out there out of halftime to try to go beat the Raiders and come back on Las Vegas.
No, I don't think that happens. I mean, that would be I don't know if that's throwing in the towel or what, but that would be a hell of a thing. I will say this, and I found this a little bit interesting. And this was the back and forth with Davis Mills and Jonathan Alexander. We'll get to it in a sec when we go through the positions, but I did find this back and forth pretty interesting. Before that, though, let's get some context here on Reaction Monday presented by TDECU. Some context from Cody, aka Cody's Context.
All right, so the interception streak ended at 7 games. They did not intercept Cam Ward. I thought for sure they were going to intercept.
Come on, Stingley. Why do you make the one-handed one, but you drop the easy ones?
Yeah. So the interception streak ends. They still got a turnover, though. And they have a turnover and a sack now in 8 consecutive games, which is the league lead. Their turnover differential right now is +7. It has been +10 the past 2 seasons. So as far as taking it away, giving it away, they're pretty close to the past couple of seasons. It's not as simple for me as Nick Caserio talked about it earlier this year when he's like, turnovers are the easiest way to predict victory. Not with this team, as bad as they've played on offense a couple times. But I did find it interesting that the turnover differential is pretty close to the previous 2 years. Trent Brown last week on Pro Football Focus had a 40 overall grade, 50 run block, and a 44 pass block. Coming out of this week, 73, 71, 74 was the only lineman to be in the green in the 3 things that Pro Football Focus grades for their offensive linemen and blocking. I thought that was fairly significant. Big improvement after he got a little bit of action, knocked some of the rust off, and he was moving some bodies in the run game a couple of different times. It wasn't a super successful day in the run game, but I thought Brown had a nice day. While we're on Pro Football Focus, Jared Patterson has the highest pass block rating amongst all the guards.
That's his strength
as well. Don't ask me about the run block rating. I thought this one was I just looked at this just to kind of see how different it is. We all know that Tank Dell had an incredible start to his season in 2023. But I was just curious, how many through 10 games, how many targets did Tank Dell have, and how many targets does Jaden Higgins have? Tank Dell through 10 games in 2023, 75 targets. Jaden Higgins through 10 games this year, 36 targets. So drastically different from an opportunity standpoint. And he's got about a third of the yards that Tank Dell had through 10 games. And then I thought this was pretty intriguing because D'Amico Ryans talks about it all the time. They were 4 for 13 on third down, 31% on third down as an offense. That's their lowest in a win this season.
Terrible.
Obviously, when you go up against a really bad football team, you don't have to be as good, but 31% on third down is their lowest number in a win this season. So those are Cody's Context.
Terrible.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Appjack says Colts 1 seed wouldn't be bad at all. Houston makes playoffs. There's a good chance it would be a divisional matchup. I know we're still far, but they're right there in the mix now. I mean, it is you win this Buffalo game, it gets real interesting, but they're right there in the mix.
I would think that unless you get a little bit of help and you take care of your business to the utmost degree against the opponents that you need to, if the Texans are making the playoffs, the 7th seed seems to be the most likely spot for them. Unless you just own a tiebreaker over Buffalo and the Chargers, and it jumps you all the way up to the 5 spot.
Rodzilla says, fun thought experiment, overreaction or not. Baltimore wins division. KC, Buffalo, and Houston are the 5, 6, 7 seed in no particular order. Would y'all even want that? Texans beggars can't be choosers. They just got to get in the playoffs. It's not like this.
I mean, I do not want to play the full strength Baltimore Ravens if I'm the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
I would much rather play Denver or the Colts.
Which you would have already done 3 times combined. Moondog says, just joining. Did Cody hit the Togi yet?
I did. I hit it earlier. You want me to hit it again? Although he puts his thumb up. I don't know if I need to.
Oh, God. TF Texans says, anyone can drink apple cider vinegar mixed drinks. However, who's man enough to take a taser? That's a bet I would pissy. I mean, I'm not Johnny fucking Knoxville. I mean, we might bet some dumb shit, but I'm not Steve-O.
I do. I love those compilations of what I'm guessing to be law enforcement people going through training, and they get the taser test, and the 2 people hold them, and the person just goes taser, 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 and then they shoot them with the little taser thing, and it's incredible. It makes me laugh every time. I'm not getting tased. No, thank you.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
thank
on
you.
that.
Though, this apple cider vinegar, I don't know if I could take this much more.
Well, let's go get the drink ready before we go through the positions.
I'm not doing it before the end of the show. No, I'm doing that at the end. No.
Come on.
You want to finish this by yourself?
So let's go through the positions. Then we'll get the kings of the turf, and then we'll look ahead a little bit with some half full, half empty. Let's start with Davis Mills. Assessment of Davis Mills' performance.
I really liked what he brought to the table. I didn't feel like he was bad in some of the precarious situations that this offense put him in. The accuracy was a little bit better from last week to this week, I thought. He didn't throw as many interceptable or like, what the hell are you doing passes as he did the previous week. So I feel like he had a really nice day, and that big play to Nico Collins, what a throw, one of the throws of the season.
Yeah, I thought he was dropping some dimes. I think the 2 sacks that he took that took them out of potential scoring opportunities, the 4th down and the 3rd down, I don't think either one of them, I don't think it's debatable that it was or wasn't his fault, which is kind of a discussion we have a lot. Is that on the quarterback? Is that whatever? I don't think it was his fault. It seems like there's more communication going on pre-snap with him. It seems like he's getting guys in the right place. They couldn't run the ball. And when they needed him to make a play or a couple of plays to win the game, he did it. So I thought he was fine, not phenomenal, but beyond fine. Like I would have taken that performance. That's the best thing I can say about the last 2 weeks with Davis and CJ, or with Davis. I would have taken the last 2 weeks of play from CJ Stroud and been relatively encouraged by it. So I think he did a good job filling in. If CJ did the exact same stuff that he did, I think you would feel pretty good about it. Running back observations. We did get more Woody Marks than Nick Chubb. I would say that's a little bit of a start. Always kind of hard to judge against the Titans because it actually is kind of hard to run against them. I still think Woody Marks should be more involved in the pass game. I know he's the best runner you got, but that says as much about the other runners you got. I think his super skill as a receiver, I think there's even like more opportunity, although they were lining him out wide a little bit, and there was a little bit of that.
I was a little worried after Woody didn't get that block that they were going to, punish him because he's a rookie, and oh my gosh, the blocking. And I thought they'd, throw Chubb in there. They didn't do that. I mean, Chubb was in, but then Woody came back in pretty quick after that. And I mean, Chubb only got his carries there late and in the latter part of the game. I do wonder if there's room for like a 1 or 2 more carries if something's not popping early for Woody from Chubb, just because he just feels like that battering ram. But it may simply have just been, it's Simmons, it's Sweat. You're not going to run against the Titans. But to have back-to-back weeks where they chose to make it Woody Marks focused in the rushing attack, that's a great sign.
Wide receiver obs, more feeding the beast with Nico Collins. Jaden Higgins, I asked him today, what's been going on. He just said the quarterback believes in me. That wasn't a shot or anything. I think he's just saying, quarterback believes in me, giving me an opportunity. So I thought the wide receivers were fine. Didn't see any mistakes outside of Christian Kirk, who isn't good. That drop touchdown, the wide receivers were good.
I really like what Jaden Higgins is bringing to the table the past couple of weeks. I mean, in this game, he had the near touchdown, should have been the touchdown, whatever you want to call it. Had a couple of first down catches and then had a catch for 9 yards on first down. Like, not all catches are created equal for me, and he's getting bigger catches, and they're giving him more, and they're trusting him more, and they're running him out there, and I like that. And we're starting to see him get comfortable.
Dalton Schultz, thought Dalton Schultz was an absolute dog playing hurt. Do wonder how he's going to feel on the short week. But Dalton Schultz did his thing. Cade Stover was there. I didn't really notice anything crazy with Cade Stover, but Dalton Schultz continued to be one of the most important offensive players this team has.
Yeah, Schultz is grinding through an injury and still playing at a high level when he is grinding through that injury. So whatever he needs to do to get on the field Thursday, get him on the field Thursday.
Offensive lineops.
Pretty solid day. I know they allowed 4 sacks, but it didn't feel like Mills was dealing with like constant chaos around him. So I thought they had a decent enough day. And it's tough to run against this crew. It's tough to run against Simmons and Sweat. And they did not run the football well. They did not run block well, but they held up when they needed to hold up and let Mills make some big throws. So I like this offensive line combination. I'd like to see this same group on the field again Thursday.
Yeah, they were fine. It'll be interesting to see how they can run the ball as the season goes on. This is a tough contest. D-line, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter eating at the same time again. Imagine that. Another win, 7-2 now when that happens, with the 2 losses really not being because of them. Those guys just balling out. Tommy Togiai, really good. Tim Settle had a batted down pass. So I thought the D-line was very solid. Sheldon Rankins made some plays too.
That the passes deflected at the line of scrimmage is something I'd like to see more of from this team, especially as teams try to counter their pass rush with quick passing. I'd like to see more of that. I know some of it was just it's Cam Ward and that's how he throws it, and that allows you to do it. But I'd like to see the folks get their hands up a little bit more on the line of scrimmage. But good job by the D-line.
Linebackers.
Well, To's having a rough season here. I mean, he had a really rough one over there on the sideline, another missed tackle from Henry. Felt like EJ Speed had some really nice moments. He had a pass deflection. They blitzed him a couple of times. They just don't get home on blitzes as much as I would hope they would. Like, even just from getting a bit of pressure standpoint. And then Azeez was solid.
Yeah, there's not much upside at the linebackers, but it just does feel like they're getting seeked out a little bit more, miscommunication, all that. Cornerbacks, they're really good. I guess I'm grading Stingley like an honor student. You got to have that interception just because we know he can get it. He basically ran the route for the receiver, so it was a thing of beauty. He did pick up the pass interference before Lassiter gave up the bomb. I'm sure that's not their best tape, but look, I mean, you grabbed his arm a little bit of hand fighting. I don't hold that too much against Stingley and Lassiter. A lapse amidst a really, 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 really beyond solid season. So he said today that, all they're focusing on are the bad plays from yesterday, not the goods. So that kind of defines the mindset of Kamari Lassiter.
Yeah, I mean, he made it sound like he was like ready to like get called into the principal's office. It's like, you guys had a good day. It's okay, but he was like, "Oh, we're not looking at any of those good plays. We got a lot of bad plays to clean up." Okay, sure.
Yep. And then the safeties, Miles Bryant had a rough start, but he ended up finishing decently.
I agree.
I grade Miles Bryant on a curve. It's the opposite of how I grade Stingley and Lassiter. So I would say they were fine. Kalen Bullock, man, it is up and down with him. It is a roller coaster ride with Kalen Bullock. But I thought he was good yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was good as well. He came up and made some nice plays, and there's some stuff getting to the second level that probably shouldn't get to the second level, and he cleaned it up.
Special teams, salute to Frank Ross coming off the worst special teams performance maybe of his entire tenure. They were solid. Tommy Townsend still a roller coaster ride when it comes to punting. It's just so you never know when he's going to boom one and when he's going to shank one. The net always seems to cancel out. Matthew Wright with the game winner and another field goal. no real bad plays in the return game. And Jalen Knoll returned one to midfield. So I thought special teams were fine. But I did think they had an opportunity. This is getting greedy. I did think they had an opportunity to recover that muff. Just seemed like they might have kind of fallen asleep at the wheel a little bit.
Wright missing the field goal, and that was not great.
Didn't count. Never happened.
Correct, but he didn't miss the field goal because of that play. He missed
never happened.
It's not like the guy was offsides and was standing in front of the kick. Like, it happened. He missed the kick. Stop doing the Men in Black thing. It happened.
Pull up the box score.
He missed the freaking kick.
Pull up the box score.
Okay, don't be a box score bozo now.
Tell me what his field goal percentage is.
I did like one time too. He had a kickoff that landed in the landing zone and then rolled out the back of the end zone. So that was a nice job by him at one time.
Dude, it feels like Kaimi just aims too much on the kickoff. Like Matt Bryant just looks like he's just like
Matt Wright.
I keep calling him Matt Bryant because of the old kicker, Matt Bryant. Matt Wright, yeah. By the way, Kaimi Fairbairn looks like he's going to play according to D'Amico. So there you go.
Yeah, I hope Matt Wright enjoyed his stay at whatever palatial hotel he's staying at.
Coaching obs.
Bad challenge. Bad operation at the end of the first half. That falls on D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caley. But I thought outside of that, fine. I thought there was a good job adjusting and getting things going in the second half on offense by Caley and company.
Wow. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought the defensive game plan was great. They dialed up that corner blitz. I thought that was huge. Could have been the game-winning play. Suspect, don't go for it on 4th and 2 when you're facing the Titans. Like 3 might be enough to win the game damn near. So don't do that. That's me. That's my mindset for the remainder of the season, regardless of who they're playing. The challenge operation, whoever is telling D'Amico to do this, they need to evaluate whatever they're doing. And outside of that, I thought the coaching was fine. I didn't see any like massive mistakes. Although the end of the first half, as you said, they just can't figure that out. All right, let's get to the ballers. Shot callers. Shout out to Dan the Man, the best in the game. He is the king of the turf, and he did my turf. He's done a lot of people's turf. Neighbors are jealous. House is worth more. Always green, always clean. No insects, no mud, no time outside doing the yard, and it looks great. TexansTurf.com if you want to get that done before the holidays. In the spirit of the greatness that is Texans Turf, Cody Stoots presents the Kings of the Turf.
It is a repeat performance in the Kings of the Turf for various different reasons. Davis Mills, Nico Collins, and Daniil Hunter. Daniil Hunter with a sack and a half, though I think given half of Tommy Togiai's sack to Daniil Hunter was mean. But Daniil Hunter had that. He had some decent pressure, and I gave it to him over Will Anderson, even though Will Anderson had that incredible sack, fumble recovery, so on and so forth. Nico Collins, I mean, they lose the game without him. That's just the fact of the matter. And then Davis Mills, when they needed a big throw, he went and made the big throw, got him down the field, and got him into field goal range, and didn't look bad in the other portions of the game. So those are your Kings of the Turf this week, Mills, Collins, and Hunter.
All right, there we go. It is Reaction Monday, presented by TDECU. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. We lead to our next question. What did Will Anderson do to Cody?
I already gave him special play. What does he need a King of the Turf for?
I'm just asking, how did Will Anderson not get the spot over Daniil Hunter?
Well, because Daniil Hunter had a sack and a half. Will only had a sack.
What did Will Anderson do?
They had the same amount of tackles. Daniil had more sacks.
How about a fumble recovery?
Okay.
It's okay. It's all good, man.
How about an additional sack?
It's your list.
Yeah.
It's
You're very critical of my Kings of the Turf.
No, it's your list.
It's the Kings that I choose to crown.
No, but I was also chicken shit because I gave it to I gave it to the Edge guys.
Okay.
I gave it to both of them.
I'm over here crowning a king. Landry's like, everyone can be king.
Participation ribbons for all Edge guys. We want to see you at Spanky's. Don't hesitate. Get there. Shout out to everyone who came out there this Friday, 4:00 special. It's going to be after the game, and this is going to be great. Y'all know how Reaction Monday brings that heat. Imagine doing it while we all eat at Spanky's. See you there Friday, 3:00. And all you got to do is go up to Cody and say, beer me, beer on Cody. So there you go. Beer on Cody. During happy hour hours. Just go up to Cody and say, beer me.
All right. So the first 5 people, you can beer me.
Not 10. First 10.
First 10 people, you can beer me.
All right. Speaking of drinking.
If I'm buying 10 beers, I shouldn't have to drink this shit.
You got to. You lost. And it was a very, very crazy bet by you. Go get the mixture. I will set the scene for the people. We will also appropriately play glass half full, glass half empty. So here's what happened. Cody, because he didn't have faith in old Nick Cayley. Nick. He bet me a try bet, which is 3 reasonable ingredients that Nick Chubb would have more carries than Woody Marks. I said, no, I don't think so. And that ended up playing out. So now Cody has to drink 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar, 2 ounces of pickle juice, and 2 ounces of chocolate milk. This is going to be nasty. This is going to be really nasty. But he will get that done. On the chat, Big Rick, Slick Rick, Crazy Rick.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Says $9 for the show, $1 for my lost bet. I don't even remember what bet you lost, Rick. You could have got away with this, but you're a man. You're a man of your word.
Rick lost a bet to me on Texas, Georgia.
Oh God, he bet on the horns.
Yeah, he bet on the horns.
Ouchie. I feel your pain. All right, so let's get this poured up, and we'll also answer a few questions after this. Cody's not exiting after this, so we got some.
Yeah, easy for you to say, bitch.
All right, go ahead. Let's see.
So I tried to find the pickle shot. Like they make pickle juice that's in a 2-ounce shot.
Yeah.
2 stores, none of it. They don't sell it where I went. So I had to buy a pack of pickles in the juice. And I had to open that pack of pickles and pour the juice out of the pack of pickles.
And you hate pickle juice.
I hate pickles.
Crazy.
So
there you go. 2 ounces of that.
There's the pickle juice. My stomach is already just making a disaster. And then, of course, your freaking favorite, apple cider vinegar. So gross.
Damn, apple cider vinegar and pickle juice. Oh,
okay. It smells like a morgue in here. It's what I imagine they make embalming fluid out of. It's disgusting. Oh, God, I hate the apple cider vinegar. And then you wanted chocolate milk, so I got me some True Moo.
wait, is that chocolate?
How could it be anything less than chocolate?
All right, I'm just making sure. Okay.
It says True Moo chocolate. Come on, read a little bit here, man. Get just a little. That's good chocolate milk right there. It's going to be bad chocolate milk here in a second. It's so thick. I don't understand how chocolate milk gets so thick.
Holy crap, that's more than 2 ounces. You must really want to cover it up.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe the chocolate milk can cover some of this gross crap you make me drink. I'm a puke. It's not. There's not even a negotiation. Come on.
Yes, he's mixing it. He has to mix it. That's the rule.
You want me to mix it?
No, someone's asking, is he mixing it? Yeah, of course you're mixing it all up.
Yeah, taking it 2 ounces at a time. That's awful.
Yeah.
I gotta get a hold on. I gotta get a throw up container. I'm gonna puke.
Come on.
I gotta get a trash can.
Come on.
I gotta get a trash can. Hold on. I'll be back. Hold on.
All right. All right. This is a little crazy. All right, let's just touch on this first. The question is, will CJ Stroud play this week? D'Amico Ryans insinuated that might not happen.
Are you ready? Should I do, or you want to finish your CJ thought?
Here's what DeMeco had to say about the CJ situation.
We're hopeful for CJ to get back healthy. That's the first thing, the most important thing. And for me and my spot, I just have to deal with it based on when they pass the steps they need to pass, and if they are available, then being able to see them on the field, see them get reps, and see how that goes. But as of right now, it's kind of nothing, that I can do, from my seat here. I'm just praying for those guys to just get back healthy.
All right. So
It's out of his hands.
Yeah. We'll get to the Davis Mills stuff tomorrow, but really the question is, will CJ play? Who knows? The Texans, for what it's worth, they're a 3.5-point underdog. Not a lot. A lot of people jumping on Buffalo, I'm sure. 3.5-point dog. Buffalo's not looking great. It's the short week. Before we get out of here, glass half full, glass half empty. Lay it out.
I know this is half full, unfortunately. Disgusting. Look, when you turn to your backup quarterback, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You want to win football games. He's taking care of business. His 2 opportunities, and you were down. This could have been one of those where, a team that cares more about this matchup from a big picture standpoint than you comes out and is real feisty there in the second half and makes it tough. No, Texans, they're down 6 points. Boom, Davis Mills gets them down the field. 7-6 Texans. Tie game. Boom, Davis Mills gets them down the field. So really good job by Davis Mills. And you at least have some confidence since you have to go to him for Thursday.
Yeah, glass half full for me. You're 5-5, which was the goal that was laid out after 0-3. Glass half empty. I think it's going to get a lot tougher. You're going to be playing some better offenses and quarterbacks that are equipped to use their legs to be able to take advantage. And you still have, whether it's Davis Mills, CJ Stroud, we'll be able to have that discussion the next few days. You still have an offense that is extremely flawed, and on certain weeks might not be able to give you enough, and may ask too much for the defense. Go to the chat real quick before Cody gets his drink on.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
McDapple says, don't pin away for the puking rally. Yes, we're going to get off the puking rally very quickly. Bryce Bellow says, ban a sleep mask snubbed for king of the turf, no matter what, fire casserole. Until then, we'll continue to put out mediocrity because O is full of Nepo hires and Demeek only gives a city so about the D. Jeez, that was a poem.
Bryce putting a lot into that one.
That was
he got a good night's sleep with his Manta sleep mask.
Yep. All right, go ahead, Cody. Let's see it.
All right. God, I'm gonna puke. No, I'm not. I'm gonna. Okay. All right. It smells so bad. It just smells so bad.
This was your worst bet ever.
Yeah.
Spanky's Friday.
I'm not making another one.
Oh. How many ounces is this?
The chocolate milk. The chocolate milk's so thick.
All right. On that note. All right, Texans Collective at 6. Be sure to me and Cody will be there. Myself, Cody, Sean Pendergast. Shout out to TDECU for doing what they do. We'll be at practice tomorrow. It's going to be an active one, and it's going to be an active week. See you at Spanky's on Friday. It's going to be popping. When it comes to this Texas stuff, we're all in it together. Hit them, Cody.
Eat good. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon if I make it through this. Thanks for watching.
Everybody.